Hello, it's John Binnie. Let me just show you briefly. This is me. Hello. I'd love to talk to you today about the important topic you keep asking me about, which is what is your life purpose? What is your life mission? Why did you come here into this lifetime? How can you help yourself? How can you help the rest of the planet? Well, good news, you came to the right planet. We need you. We need you. We need your help. And this planet, if you hadn't noticed, is struggling a lot in a lot of different ways. Many of us are struggling with stress and anxiety, burnout. Many of us are having challenges with, stressful jobs that perhaps we don't really relate to anymore. Just all kinds of challenges. And this world, is struggling. We're taking so many natural resources. There's problems with leaders and power plays across the planet and greed, and it's a long list, right? You get the idea. I don't need to sell you on the idea of the problems that this planet has. And let me talk to you about my journey, because I have literally quite a long drive home. I'll just show you the drive now. So I'm driving along the bypass around the outside of the city of Edinburgh, and I've just come back. I've just finished a day. It was 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. learning Swedish deep tissue massage. So it's incredible. I'm both receiving it and learning, giving it, just a really beautiful experience. So I'm going to take you back. Let's take you back on a journey. So long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. So in 2017, November 2017. So I'll say it again. November 2017. So just past 7 years ago. I was just starting my meditation journey. I just had my first big awakening, where I was in a meditation class in a village hall for the first time, and I saw the planets and stars being created and the energy flowing between them, and it was just an incredible experience to witness. And that got me started on wanting to meditate every day, because I thought, well, it's such a profound, incredible experience. Who wouldn't want to explore that more? So that got me hooked on meditation. And this journey about my life mission was coupled with music, and I mean it still is, but with music. Oh, here goes a motorbike. With music, the interesting challenge is that I had just begun. I just moved home. I had a studio which was a Zumba dance studio. So it was like a garage converted into a Zumba dance studio. So I had a big wall of mirrors and a big heated floor, which was amazing. It was huge, absolutely huge. And I found myself starting to fill it with music equipment, and I started to write songs and record songs at weekends. But I also found that in part I would disappear in there for sometimes hours and not be around my family. And after some discussions with my family, my wife, it's like, oh, I think I should balance this time out. And so I started to want to do music first thing in the morning and do it around the time I was doing meditation. And then quickly I started asking for, within the first 14 days, I was asking my spirit guides, who I just come across the concept, started asking for messages. So this is still keep in mind, I'm only 3 or 4 weeks in to my meditation journey. I wasn't yet writing songs every day from the messages. I wasn't yet fully receiving messages beyond 1 or 2 words. And I had this sense that my intuition was that this is going to last a long time, that I could put a lot of effort into my music, a lot of effort into my meditation practice, and that it was all going to go somewhere. Now, one very powerful thing that I'd learned just in the year before, in 2016, I'd learned that, I'm just going to slow down a little bit because the traffic's busy. I'd learned from my work, and my previous job was at a global corporate, a big retail website you may have heard of, and I realized that if I had a single focus, then that focus, like that mission or that goal, would become like everything for me. It would become the reason I woke up in the morning, that I brushed my teeth, that I went for a run, that I did my work, that over time, whatever I focused on would be, in many respects, I would become. It's very profound, right? But it's true. And I put out this question. I remember it felt like maybe a week or so that I put this question out. Now, I felt like I had spirit guides, and it felt like I could, although I wasn't, chatting with them like I could today, like I can today, I would just ask, questions out loud and just kind of see what happened. And so I remember thinking, well, there's a lot of options to this mission in this life, because until right up until November 2017, my mission was buy a bigger car, buy a bigger house, go on more holidays, maybe buy a holiday house. It was to earn more money and have a more, better job title, and that's all I could really see. And maybe, I think at that time my wife and I were starting to talk a little bit about things like, an early retirement. Maybe we could save up towards an early retirement, but no idea what we'd do. So I put this question out. And you can do this yourself, right? You can just try exactly the same technique, and there's a million different techniques you can do. But I just asked my spirit guides, I just said out loud, and I think I have memories of like setting up equipment, maybe doing a little bit of gym exercise as I was asking this question, so it's by no means sat in meditation. And I just asked the question, what should my mission be with my music? What should my purpose be with my life? And what started to come through, maybe more powerfully than I've ever heard anything in my life, was a very simple term, but I must admit back then I didn't understand it. And the term that kept coming through to me was raising vibrations. Raising vibrations. And I did not know what that meant. I remember the Beach Boys song, I'm looking for good vibrations, or similar lyrics. And I felt like some sort of maybe happiness or goodness. I didn't really understand the full meaning behind it, or now the global context behind raising vibrations, or the universal context of why it's so important. So I just got started really on that, and I just want to pause for a moment and say, I think it took me about a week of hearing this again and again, because I kept thinking, oh, maybe I could be famous. People get famous doing music. I could get famous. That could be a goal. And it's like, oh, I don't really know about fame. Like, where does that really get you, except for lots of people know you? Which, I'm okay with, but it doesn't seem like the best thing I could maybe do with my life. No offense to people who want to be famous, it's all a choice, right? And then I also thought about the money, and I thought, well, maybe I could earn, millions of pounds doing music or something. It's like, well, I just felt, well, that's okay, but I already earn a lot of money, and it's not really making me very happy. I was earning loads in my corporate job. So then I thought, well, I don't know, this raising vibration thing seems like a good idea. And so I just settled on that. So I also knew, and this is relevant for you, right, is it time and time again, it's proven in, studies, in business, in war and all kinds of stuff, that if with humans, all you need to do is focus us on one goal, and you will achieve or exceed that goal. So if you have a team of 8 people, you focus them on a single goal, and that might be selling more of a thing, it might be helping more people, like a number of people, and the simpler it is to be able to understand, the better it is. Now you can tell from my raising vibrations that it wasn't super clear to me what it was, but it was 2 words, and that was helpful. And so that became my goal, my life purpose. And it, did I talk to other people about it? No, I didn't. In fact, for some months, and maybe even longer, I didn't really talk about raising vibes or raising vibrations. It was just my mission, and I just started on that journey. And I felt like in my music, which was initially my main focus, or should I say my sole focus, it felt that every song that I wrote should somehow help people raise their vibrations. And I'd say to begin with, there wasn't a lot of like low vibration music, but I still am a big metal fan. I love all kinds of metal music, and I love classical and meditation music, electronic trance, and I don't know, there's so many dance music. I don't know, I love rock music, I love loads. So that was my journey, and I just kept going with it. And this is also important, right? Is that it doesn't really matter what you choose to begin with, as long as you choose something, and something that feels good. And for me, it felt good in my heart. It felt like, this just feels good. I don't quite fully understand it, and I have no idea how I'm going to do it. And it started to evolve. I started to say things like, my mission is to raise the vibrations of billions of hearts. I thought, well, as I started to learn more about the challenges this planet has, about the challenges that the universe has, and that we need to raise up our vibrations, which helps with the whole ascension process, helps us step into our happiest, most joyous, equal versions, like promoting equality and love and compassion across the planet, and still be sovereign and enjoy everything we do. So what I found was that over time I wanted this to evolve, and when in particular, a big change for me was when I started doing like energy healing for people. And I started calling it darkness clearing, so I focused on the negative energy that is stored up in our bodies, like removing that, and then any negative entities that are attached. There are some funny smells I hear. It smells quite oily. So that was really awesome. That went on for a good few years. But with the energy healing, I started to realize that I wanted to clear people's energy. I wanted to help. I realized there was a lot more in terms of many, many dimensions to this planet, to this reality, that I wanted to step into. So that became a thing, right? To start to evolve that mission, and I started to integrate that into my life's purpose. And I'm going to skip forward. I'm kind of skipping through and over 50 minutes in, but I'm just trying to give you the highlights of the kind of big changes I've had so far in my mission. So the last big change, not final for sure, the last big change for me was when I started my own business. I knew I needed to get crisper about the mission, and I had this time last year, so just towards the end of December last year, still in my corporate job. I think I had like a couple of weeks off, and I realized that this was a good time to maybe spend a day or two and write down the things that I wanted to focus on in my business, because I knew that whatever I focused on, I would be so what's the word? So driven. And if anything, that was been my the biggest growth area for me, is not working like myself to an early grave. To be able to have a sustainable pace, a sustainable work-life balance. So I started to write it down, and then what you heard me talk about, I think I actually read it out in my Talk to Your Spirit Guides video that I did just the weekend there. If you haven't watched that, please do watch it. It gives you a lot more context about talking to your spirit guides specifically. But yeah, what I found was, it took a long time. It felt like a long time. It felt like 2 days where I was writing a lot. And what was cool was I had time to just sit down and say, okay, what's my mission? And now my mission, as I read out last time, is more about helping balance darkness and light in this whole universe by helping this whole planet and all those people that are going through awakenings, with over 5 times more people going through their awakenings, and their awakenings being even faster. So there's more detail, but in there is also raising people's vibrations. So that's a thing, right? And it might seem a little bit vague to you, but I chose to optimize for, if there's a focus area, like to really focus on the number of people I can help, because I didn't just want to limit it to myself, but I don't want to build a company of like hundreds and thousands of people. In fact, I'd love to keep it just as me, and instead like help through others, like help train others to go on, teach others to do this as well. Help balance darkness and light within us, helps balance darkness and light outside of us across this planet and this whole universe. Okay, so let's talk about you. So if you're watching this, you probably read the title and thought, oh, so that's me. I haven't figured out what my life purpose is, what my mission is. And a theme for many of my one-to-one sessions is exactly that. People come to me and they ask me to talk to their spirit guides, to their higher self, to talk to their Akashic records, archangels, just a long list of different beings. And the general idea is that you're seeking, clarity from other beings about what your life mission is. Now, there's some other things, other terms, often jumbled in here together. So one concept I call, your dream life, which is, people say living the dream, or I'm living my best life, or whatever kind of spin on the same, roughly the same terms or themes you want to talk about. A life that just feels amazing. It's like living in heaven, except you're a living, breathing human being and having just an incredible life. So that's a thing. Also, people talk about their dream business, and for some, people are solely focused on their business, and it's fine, right? Like, you get to choose what you focus on. I would encourage you, if you want a dream business, you also need to think carefully about your dream life, because it's not going to be your dream business when your dream life is a mess. If you're just working it, 200 hours a week, and then, not having the time. Is it 200 hours a week? I don't know. Answers in the comments. But if you're just working yourself to an early grave, you're probably not living your dream life. So that's the thing. And some people just want to get out, so like escape the matrix, escape their corporate job or their office job, or just their job that they feel sucks and they just no longer resonate with, and they want to go on and do a new thing. And so let's start with like the easiest thing you can do yourself. You can do it like right now. You can do it while you're listening to me in this video, because I'll be here for another 20 minutes at least. And that is, take 3 deep breaths, sit down in a calm place with a nice like little pen and paper, maybe a coffee or a glass of water, whatever you choose. And then just think to yourself, write down 3 things that maybe in 5 years' time, you decide, a year's time, 3 years, 5 years' time, the top 3 feelings that you'd like to feel. Like, what are the top 3 things that you'd like to experience in your future life, your future version of you? You might say, unconditional love. That, you have with your partner and your family, you have unconditional love. So you might start with a word and then just expand out that term. You might say you want joy, or the highest joy, the highest vibration joy, and that could be for your work and your hobbies and or your passions, that all these things feel just really great to you, like you just love doing them and it fills you with joy. So you're genuinely excited about tomorrow, almost like you can't wait for tomorrow because it's just full of so much joy, and you're having so much joy right now. So no more work fear or Sunday night work fear, which is good. And then thirdly, you might choose something about how it feels in your life. Do you feel free? Like you can go wherever you want, do whatever you want? Does it feel fun? Like just the things you do, yes, it's joyous, but you have fun and you make people laugh, and people, your customers and people you're with, it's always fun. Everything you do is fun. Or maybe that's the space for your hobbies. For me, that could be my music. So all these things, it's just 3 things, but you would be amazed. In many respects, I feel like some of the founding principles of why our planet is broken right now is because of a simple exercise like that if we just got everyone in the world, and maybe we'll enter it like a computer system, where everyone had to put in their top 3 feelings that they wanted, you would be amazed how similar they are across the planet. So just saying, John's personal opinion of, wouldn't it be great if everyone knew the top 3 things that they want to feel? So that's one exercise you can do. The other is, and I'll give you a few things to think about. I have done that, and I did do that as I was explaining about last December, when I went back into my mission and I started writing out. So if you go into my website, johnbinnie.com, go to About Me, or About in the main menu, and then there's my biography, which also links you into this, and there's my future vision press release. So that's written from the future to the present, and it allows you to see what my thinking's been. And in my thinking at that time, I felt like I wanted to start with the top 3 things I wanted to feel, and I knew that my mission, of course, like balancing light and dark and raising vibrations, isn't just for the rest of the world, it's also for me. So I also created tenets, and these tenets are trade-offs, and one of them, I think the first one, is about like I can't kill. Oh my god, don't say that. I fill my cup first, so that my cup is overflowing with love and abundance and money, and then I'm able to serve others. So does that seem selfish? Maybe. Like, you all get to choose, right? We all get to choose. For me, it doesn't. For me, I know that my weakness, my continued area of growth is giving too much. And sure, I charge money for things because I need to earn a living, and pay for all of the costs from my business, from websites to payment systems and bank charges and like you name it, it's there. But I'm very grateful to be able to fill my cup first. And so, but filling my cup, only filling my cup, is not me. Like I'm here in my mission to serve others. And I'm also, at a very personal level, this is John absolutely speaking, is John wants to, like I'm driving in my camper van now, I want to go on tour with my wife, we want to travel around Europe. We love camping on weekends and going away. We're definitely going to do it more and more now that our house renovations are finished. I mean, they just finished today. Woohoo! And these are just really important things to have, you know, in your balance. So think about this: if I only had saving the planet and saving this universe in my mission, and no kind of balance with my work life, with my dreams of, you know, traveling around Europe and around the world, going camping and experiencing all the incredible sights this planet has to offer, if I didn't have those latter things, then John, the human, the 47-year-old, almost 48-year-old, on the 8th of December, it's my birthday, almost 48, John would not have much of a life left, right? He would just become this servant to his mission, and likely at the cost of the other things in his life, because I have a propensity to work very, very hard. So I feel that balance really resonates for me, and this is important for you, right? If you're thinking about your life mission, your life purpose, think about, there's what your soul, your higher self, your guides, the Akashic records, archangels, all kinds of beings have an opinion about your mission. And, you know, every being also has their own free will to have a kind of, what I describe it as, like an investment, a vested interest. That's it, a vested interest in the things that you're going to do, because if your mission aligns with then theirs more, then of course they're going to feel more inclined to encourage you towards that. Hey John, save the planet, we all need your help. And also accepting that I don't want to just break myself trying to save a planet that's going to clearly take more than just me. You know, my mission is clearly more than just John Binnie. And whilst I do absolutely believe that one person can have a significant and dramatic effect on our Earth, our future, and just like individuals have in our history, know that you still will benefit from giving some thought to your human, looking after yourself, your body, your health, your family, your passions, your joy, the life you really want to live. Okay, we're just passing Haddington, which means we're about another 15 minutes. Some other techniques you can try. I do have this, I believe it's in the 14-day Spirit Guide meditation, and it says it's for the 14 days, something like the second week. It talks about like manifesting your dream life. It's a great meditation, and there's a few different ways you can do it. One is going to, take 3 deep breaths, almost like a mindfulness meditation. Create a safe space around yourself, and then you just ask yourself, I'd like to see what I'm doing. Show me the version of me in 3 years' time or 5 years' time. And then you choose the actual time, right? And then allow yourself to go and visit that version of you and ask some questions and take some notes. The first one could be, how do you feel? And then the next one could be, well, what are you doing? And the next question could be, who are you with? And then, where are you? Just 3 or 4 questions. And, it's not an exact science, right? And I actually had this question from someone in my massage class today. They asked a lot about, how do we do... how do we do like future readings and things? And I feel like when we do, like especially Akashic records, or we go in portals and we go into the future with the people in these sessions, that they are a potential future timeline. And the reason it's potential is because even just telling someone their potential future influences their present. Now it's kind of good and bad all at the same time, right? Like it could be negative because it might make someone just think, well, no matter what I do, everything's going to work out fine. And maybe that's true. You get to decide. And then the opposite is true as well. Someone feels like, this is amazing, I'm definitely going to stick at meditation, and then they develop their practice, and then they leave their corporate job like me, and then they go off and do whatever they want as a business. And I do feel that out of all of this, like, your free will is, in many respects, deciding your life's mission, your life's purpose, your dream life, your vision, your dream business. It's an execution of your free will. And it's one of the most, if not the most powerful universal law that you have. And it doesn't matter how big or how small that mission is, know that it's important. And my mission sounds like, to me, it sounds quite grandiose. It's like, oh, John's going to help, in time, hundreds of thousands of millions and billions of people. Great, fantastic. But there are lots of people that will help others from behind the scenes. They will connect people together. They will teach people how to do the basics of, introduce them to their meditation or their yoga practice, or teach them how to do art, or learn how to use computers in an ethical way, or whatever people do. There's a huge amount, if not more, people behind the scenes in less visible missions that will have just as a dramatic effect on helping this world. And then even the people that just choose to only help themselves, it all helps. Like my meditation this morning, if you help heal your heart, there's a really beautiful cloud ahead and some stars, and maybe you'll get to see it shortly. If all you do is focus on healing your heart, facing your shadows, sending them love, figuring out what your doors of your fear are and stepping through them, like, you are helping this whole world, you're helping this planet, you're not just helping yourself. And at very least, it's one less heart for someone else to try and help fix or heal. So know that whatever you do, it has this resonance effect out on the rest of the world around you, the rest of this universe around you. So keep going, dear soul, keep going, you got this. And then you can also, like I mentioned, as well as that thing where you can just ask these future versions of you, what are you doing? You can also book a session with someone like me, or like my friend Natasha also does this, Akashic Records readings, and find out what it is that you're doing in the future, and you'll get, I would argue, a pretty well-informed understanding of what one of your future timelines could be. And it's a series of decisions that you'll make to get there. And for me, I've had decisions of meditating each day, decisions of going into energy healing, decisions of doing psychic readings, leaving my corporate job, starting my own business. Like, they're all the things. And I remember I used to have lots of future readings, once every couple of months or once every 3 months. Over the years, I would ask the same question, and they're on YouTube, right? My readings that people have given me, and so those future predictions were largely right. I remember one person saying, well, they Sean, there's no rush leaving your job, it'll just happen when it happens. And that was kind of true, but I did really push for it towards the end. Like, I was just so hungry to leave, but it was like a future that was kind of guessed or predicted at the time. And then I also had one which was more like a quantum hypnosis session, where me as the client are doing a lot of the talking, unlike the sessions I do for clients, unless they're they're already developed their gifts to be able to do it. I'm talking, to them about their experiences. And I remember in that it was becoming clear that it was inevitable, that I had decided I was going to leave my corporate job, and this was only a year ago. I think I hid the video initially unlisted because I hadn't told the company I was leaving, but it wasn't public to the teams that I ran or anything. So that was just really beautiful to experience those predictions and then feel into them, because they felt very like, these predictions felt like a partnership. Felt like me being able to emotionally and spiritually explore that future, that potential future, and feel into it. And if it felt right, then go for it. So these questions are more like your dream life and your dream mission, dream business. I also have created this, so part of the Higher Self Intermediate training course, so it's the second of 3 courses. The last week in it talks about business and receiving your dream life and receiving your dream business. And in that, I describe receiving, and this is how it happened for me, right? When you remember when I was asking my spirit guides, I wasn't pushing hard to explore and create this crisp definition of a mission. Like I asked, I opened myself up, and I received it. So in this very much a world of masculine push, create, create your dream life. Really, I feel like receiving it is so important. Just like I cleared out my garage and then received all you beautiful customers who joined me after being on Linda G's show on YouTube. So these are things. Look out for that course. I've created it into a little module. You can already buy it. I've scheduled the in-person session for it the week after next, and have a couple of people signed up, and then I'll book an online version. I don't know if it will be in December or into January, but I will do an online version, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. A couple of hours online, and we'll go through the practices and also all the literature I wrote about it. So that'll be a lot of fun to help you through. And finally, this concept might be quite alien to you, is when I think of my mission of helping hundreds, then thousands, then millions, then billions of people, billions of hearts, my challenge is in many respects more about scaling what I do to help that many people. I know I can help an individual, especially if they ask for my help or they resonate with my work. But how do I scale that out to this whole planet? And it was a challenge, often a technical challenge and a business challenge I used to have in my last job, working at Amazon. But now it's much more of a challenge of, well, how do I train people and get them engaged, get people engaged in my free content, and just help more and more people. All I need to do is earn enough money to live comfortably. I'm not going to buy a bigger house. I'm not going to buy a car, that's for sure. I'll get a different camper van at some point. In fact, I might convert a van next time. But I'm not in it to just make loads of money. What I'm in this for is helping this whole planet. And so I'm only going to do that by scaling to help others. And so it feels really good, and maybe you'd like to reflect on that as well. Like, if your mission feels like you want to help lots of people, think about the scaling of that. So for example, when someone books a session with me on my website, and I know it's not perfect, but it does a lot of the things for me automatically. It allows them to find an available slot, request a service, pay for the service, the Zoom call is created, the Zoom call appears in my calendar, and I get a reminder, a notification saying someone has created a booking, John. Turn up at this time on this day and dial into this Zoom call and say hello to them. So I know that's just one-to-one, but it's like that for me is like the baseline, right? Like I definitely need that at least to help people with the work I do one-to-one. And then after that, for people that do my meditations and stuff, I know I'm going to constantly update my free meditations. Hello. I already added yesterday I added the Talk to Your Spirit Guides video, which I thought was really helpful for people that join the meditations just to talk to spirit guides. Maybe I don't get many requests for new meditations, so I know I've got 30 odd, but I'm going to create loads more. So if you've got any requests for them, please ask. And I also feel that I'll do different challenges. Like maybe I'll do a challenge. If you want me to, I could create a 14-day challenge of talking to your spirit guides, and that would be a lot of fun. Raise your vibration, set up a safe space, do your shadow work, there's all kinds of stuff. Actually, I have to talk to them all these things. It's funny seeing me in the shadows flashing by. So yeah, have a think. Like, what is your mission in this life? What is it you want to do? And have a think about engaging with my free meditations on my website. There's the 14-day spirit guide meditations. You can use it on my Android app, which is a native app from the Google Play Store. There's a Wix Spaces app, which is currently available for iPhone, and soon there'll be a native iPhone app that you can access through the App Store. And there's also my website. You can use all these different things and access my free meditations. And in there, it includes there's also like a free workshop on what's it called? The Hidden Secrets to Manifesting Your Dream Life. And it's probably about a year old for me now, it still holds a lot of truth, a lot of value, I feel, and it's free. And yeah, just reflect on what feelings you want to achieve in this life, and what would you like to see in this world. Think about the feelings and the words that describe those feelings in your life, so that you can feel into your purpose here. And I do feel every soul comes into a lifetime with a purpose, and there's always a common theme of wanting to grow, the soul wanting to grow, and it's often a question of how, what are the experiences that you're going to attract in and receive into your life to allow this to happen. So I hope this video finds you well. Thank you for driving home with me, John Binnie. And I'm looking forward to seeing the final work done on our outer walls of our garage, because I see the skip still there. But it's going to be fun to start moving back to my studio. Woohoo! I'm so excited for it. Anyway, that's me. Take care, everyone, and please put your requests for meditations or songs or whatever you'd like in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Love you.